Hello, welcome to this tutorial where I'll walk you through how to use a R90C-4B21-KQ connector, which, as you can see over here, yes, this is what we're talking about. Uh, so this is a device that's able to take the input or the output from four different discrete sensors and convert them into a IO link signal. Okay, so for those who are interested, there are also a model which is for one port use only. It's just like this. Okay, I will link in and discrete in or out on the other side. Okay, so let's start off with downloading the data sheet for the device, and you can actually see there are plenty of functions for the different pins in the device itself. Okay, so over here in my setup, I have the I have this IO link converter, yeah, connected to my IO link master, which is actually a T-band S24IOL. Okay, uh, I chose I chose this IO link master is because it has contains a web server for easy interface. Okay, and over here I have a switch. Okay, so to provide discrete input and output. Okay, so now let's begin. So firstly, we're going to log into our IO link master. So you can go over to Perk Service 2. Okay, I need to search for my IO link master. Okay, so bring me to the website for my IO link master where I can easily see what's my IO link input. Okay, so for the okay, so if you're using this device, right, you can just log in as a master. The password is password. Okay, and you can come over here. We can have one page to will be changing the different parameters over here, and I will open a new page by keying just the IP address for the device, and we can look at the input reading, the IO link input over here. Okay, so 11. Okay, so you can see over here this is the count of uh, the uh, discrete inputs will be collated here. This is a this is a count that is left over from previous use. So how do we clear it? Okay, so you can go to your IO link uh, master parameters. Okay, so there will be this. Okay, there will be this configuration where you can set whether you'll be able to reset or the values of the different IO link ports. Okay, so reset basically means that you can change the value. So for example, actually over here, the input 7. Okay, uh, okay, how to explain? So which input does this belong to? Okay, so you can actually see I've connected my um, device on port 1, and if I click on the device, can you'll notice that the values on input 7 is changing. Okay, okay, so basically the input data word contains my count measurements for port 1. Okay, and if I hold it longer, you can see that input word 8 is actually the discrete state. Okay, so now let's go back. Let's go and look at the datasheet. You can download one of the datasheet for the IO link reference. Okay, and you can see that this is the breakdown of the meaning behind the word. So in our input word 8 contains our discrete state and the measurement. Okay, so the input word before it contains the measurement value for port 1. Okay, so now we just need to, so we want to reset the values of port 1. What must we do? We must port 1 discrete 1. Okay, this. Okay, if you're use, and then you can just write the value. Okay, for discrete 1, the discrete value that you want to write to, and just write. Okay, make sure everybody is 0. Okay, and you can see everything is 0 over here. Okay, alternatively, if you have many values that you want to reset, there is this button over here that resets all values in the matrix. So for example, let me increase by some arbitrary amount, and then if I reset it, you will get 0. Okay, the data has disappeared. Okay, so you can also reset all prior settings using this button, but it will not change the state of this all over here. Okay, so let me just change it back to non-resettable so that I won't accidentally change the value. Okay, so over here there are a few configurations for the IO-Link input. So for discrete one, you can okay, so there are okay, so for the port, right, discrete one, how do you set what is the mode for the counting, the measurement? Okay, so just now we are in the count for port 1, we are in the count mode. So the measurement value will reflect as many times as we as the state change from 0 to 1. Okay, so it's basically it's a counter, yeah. And then there are also another mode for duration, which measures the duration of how long it stayed on. So let's try it out, right? Okay, so if it's a duration, now we can go back over here. So if you look at input word 7, okay, if I click it, then there will be, if I click it for a while, it will be a small number. If I click it and hold, and I release, the number becomes much bigger. Okay, so this it measures the duration of the state being on. Okay, so there's also events per minute, so you measure the number of times the the frequency where of your discrete of the discrete changes, okay, per minute. Okay, so let me change it back to count. Okay, so this is the easy part. Okay, so now the next stage is there are, when counting your input values, right, sometimes you might have a noise, or you might have other applications. You might need to change, you might need to use the other functions available on the discrete, on the module itself. You can see over here in the datasheet, you can actually put a delay in it so that your results will need to fit some criteria, such as the amount of time it turns on and off, the amount of time it needs to be held on. Okay, so now for delay mode, I'll go through a bit of the delay mode. The on-off delay is how long you need to keep your, okay, so on-off delay, you can see that for the delay one, it's the on is the delay on timing, and you can over here you can see that discrete The second timing is for delay off timing. Okay. So basically, if I set this the delay on timing, this is the minimum amount of time my results must stay on before it will count. Okay, so I can put it as 1. Okay, and then let's just put this as 2 seconds. Okay, to do a simple demo. Okay, so let me write it in on off delay. Okay, so if you go back over here, you can see my fingers you can see the fingers on my setup. Okay, so if I click it, if I just click it very fast, you'll see that there will be no readings. So now if I hold it down for at least 1 second, then the reading will appear. Okay. If I let go, I need to let go for approximately 2 seconds. Then the results will show. Hey, oh, I think ah, I think we have not set the mode back to normal yet. Okay, let me go and change it. Okay, count. Okay, I need to change it back to duration. So I need to write. Okay, so I believe most of this setting is more suitable for count. That's why the setting did not work. So anyway, let's go back to the readings. Okay, so now look at input word 7. You can see the results. If I click it, nothing. And then if I click and hold for 1 second, and the results will turn on. This is the discrete state over here. Okay, so if I let go, I need to let go for 2 seconds, and then before I click it again for 1 second, then it will turn on, then it will count again. So if I let go and I quickly press again for 1 second, the count actually doesn't increase. Okay, so I need to let. So that's the difference between that's the meaning behind the delay on and off. Okay, so now let's go to the second mode. Okay, then you have the on one shot, which is there's also a pulse. I think this on one shot and this pulse stretcher have almost similar, so I'll just go through one of them. Okay, so basically it just okay. So if you okay, so what is this? One shot is like your PLC one shot your one shot function. So you hold the results on for that specific amount of time. Okay, so you can see over here there is this delay, this timing tool, right? It's only applicable for the off delay and the totalizer type. We'll go through this later. So it doesn't matter what you put here for this one shot mode, and over here this is the applicable mode. Okay, so for one shot, we can just write it in and we see how it goes. Okay, so in the one shot mode, if you click it, okay, you'll see that the output state stays on for the amount of times that you set it. Okay, so just now I set for 1 second and it stays on for 1 second. Okay, and if I change it to if I change the timing to something longer, maybe 3 seconds, and I write it, and then you see that the results here. Okay, you can see that your discrete state stays on for 3 seconds before turning off. Okay, on. And so that is your discrete, is your on delay. Okay, and for your off delay, and right, you can see that from the start, the measurements, the state that it's detecting is already 1. So if whenever I press it, okay, then let go, okay, it'll turn off for 3 seconds. Every time I press it, it'll turn off for 3 seconds, and then it'll increment the count on top. Okay, if I let, okay, so now we're going to, as I mentioned, for me, I found the one shot and the procedures to be almost similar, so I'll skip this for now. Now, what is the meaning behind? What's the difference between one shot and retrievable one shot? Okay, so we can explore this now. Okay, so if we have it for the same 3 seconds, we'll write it in. Okay, uh, so so in retrievable mode, you will see if I press it, and it will also be one shot. It will turn on for 3 seconds before it turns off. Okay, so now what if I keep pressing it repeatedly? Then you'll just stay on, and the one shot will always refresh, and you'll never, the count itself will never change. Okay, so you'll re-trigger the one shot, and only then after you wait for the next time, uh, the next configured timing where you stop pressing, where it stays paused, before you can increase the count again. Okay, so let me do this with the one shot, and then you can compare the results. Okay, so you can see if I repeatedly turn it on, the count will actually increase, because it doesn't really care how often do you press it again, whether you fulfill the timing. You just make sure it stays on for the amount of time that you configure it to be. Okay, so now the last function that no, sorry, one more function I'm going to explore with you is the totalizer. So in the totalizer, you have a totalizer count and on the first reading, and you have a totalizer time on the second reading. Okay, so it's easier for me to demonstrate to you what it means than to explain it. Okay, so let me put this as a count. Let's give it a count of 5 and a timing of 2 seconds. Okay, so right. Okay, can focus on over here again. So the count will okay, in the totalizer count, you if I press it the same number of time as the totalizer count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you will see that the output will turn on for the totalizer time of 2 seconds. So, okay, if I click it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you turn on for 2 seconds again. Okay, so that is the totalizer. You count. You only turn on when you reach the configured count, and you'll turn on for the amount of time you set in the totalizer time. Okay, so now I'm gonna explore the last function. So over here, because two of the pins are for the configuration, you have, okay, going back to you have 2 pins for input and output. Okay, so but only, let's see, okay, you'll notice that uh only pin so pin 4 can be used as an input. Okay, and for pin 2 can be used as an input or output. Okay, so over here I have connected it. I have rewired it to the button, so you can notice actually this button also has an indicator light, which will show the state of our output pin 2. Okay, so input very straightforward. So now I'm going to mirror the value of the input to the output, uh, to pin 2 as the output. So how to do that? Okay, you can see the mirroring enabled. You can enable the mirroring, and you can select you want to mirror which port you want to mirror, which is our port 1, and our discrete one, which is pin 4. Okay, and the state of the mirroring. Okay, and then we're gonna, for discrete 2, we need to turn on, we need to select its mode. We want it to be a PNP output. Okay, so whatever input the state of the input in your discrete 1 pin 4 will be mirrored as an output uh, on discrete 2 pin 2. Okay, so now if I write it in, you'll see that, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the output state actually turns on for the combo when my input state over here turns 1. Okay, okay, maybe this is a bit confusing. So let me remove the totalizer. Okay, then right. Okay, so you can see over here, every time I click, so uh, the output for our the input for our pin 4 will be mirrored to pin 2 and turn on the LED over here. So every time I click the button, it will turn on the indicator light. Okay, so yeah, that's about some of the more useful functions in our device over here, the R90C-4B21-KQ. Okay, thank you and have a good day.